HQ. This is Whiskey Mike Charlie requesting radio check. Over.
Yeah, War Machine Company. This is HQ. That's a good copy.
Some people who were setting up an ad hoc emergency post.
Hi, my name is Angel Benders. I'm the co-founder of War Machine Company. And today I've got something special on the table. One of my favorite firearms, the M4A1. I know today is 9/11. It's definitely a sensitive day for a lot of Americans, including myself, being a native New Yorker. But I remember the day. I think everybody knew where they were when 9/11 happened. Those events pretty much catapult where I would be at later, which would be in Iraq, part of Operation Iraqi Freedom, and then 2 years later, I would deploy to Africa. So, didn't know at that time at 15, watching those planes go into the building, that I would be a soldier later and being deployed to Iraq and going to Africa. But this is the weapon that we used, was this platform here, the M4A1. The M4A1 derived from the XM177, and then from there it ended up being the M4. It was pretty much, I guess you can call it the M4 then, but it was the XM177. It was much skinnier at the barrel. They actually chopped it down and make it short. And that's, I think, the first time where they took that M16 and shortened it up. There's also a firearm called the Golden Carbine, which was used in Black Hawk Down, which I own as well. But we'll go into that in another video. This one, we're going to just be going over the M4A1. So like I said, this is pretty much derived from the XM177, or if you want to call it the CAR 15. My personal story with this weapon. Like I said, I deployed over to Iraq and Africa, and this was the firearm I used, was the M4A1. The difference between the one that I had over there and the one I have here is this one is not fully automatic. This is semi-automatic, and the barrel is a little bit longer here. So I do have a 14.5, but this is a Colt, and Colt added the extended bird cage, which is pin and welded, making this 16.1, making this a rifle. So you don't have to go through the legalities of ATF, NFA, or anything like that. This is a rifle. This is one of my favorite guns because it's pretty much an exact replica of what I used overseas, despite having the short barrel and the fully automatic capability. So I'm gonna start from tip to butt and go over this firearm in the way I have my M4 set up. There's two companies that make the replica. This one is the Colt, and the FN also makes the collectibles edition. Why did I go with the Colt? It was the only one that was in stock at the time. To be honest, these things are kind of hard to find, kind of hard to come by. I remember during COVID, these things were going up from $4,000 to about $4,200. Everything was going up. Ammo, different type weapons, and this was, at that time, was a collectible. And they were going up like hotcakes, I mean, in price, and they were hard to find. I've seen guys on Gunbroker selling this thing for $5 grand. It's crazy. So I kind of waited for the price to go down for me to get my hands on one. So I happened to get my hands on one through Midway, and I got one. Honestly, to be honest with you, I think I bought the last one on Midway, because once I bought it, it was out of stock, and there's no back stock on it right now at the time of shooting this video. So there are other companies, like I think Charles Custom Build, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Comment below if I'm saying that wrong, but I think they have a few. So you can find them, but they're running right now between, I would say, $1,700 to $2,000, and that's just stock. That's not adding anything else you want to add to the firearm. But I've always wanted one. When I got home from overseas, I don't think they were making them at that time, and I said, man, if they ever made a replica of the M4 that I had overseas, I would definitely buy one. And then years later, they did make a replica. At that time, my interest just wasn't there, and during COVID, I said, you know what, I want one. So when the price died down, I went and got one. So this is the Colt version, and we're gonna go from tip to butt over this firearm. Now, this is an amazing firearm. Like I said, it's used over in 60 different countries, and it's currently used in the war on terrorism as we speak. And we're gonna start here. And like I said, it does have the barrel, which is SOCOM barrel, and it's chrome line. So with that chrome line barrel, you're gonna have better accuracy. And with the SOCOM barrel, it makes the gun a little hefty. So this gun is a little more heavier than your average M4 or your average AR-15 by having that heavy SOCOM barrel. But that heavy SOCOM barrel definitely helps with, I think, recoil management, and it doesn't heat up as quick. I mean, think about it. If this gun was fully automatic and you're just lighting rounds downrange, that barrel tends to get hot. But having that SOCOM barrel definitely helps for that barrel to not get as heated. If I keep going down this way, I do have an old school Surefire. I think this is the M96-1. I got this one from a buddy my buddy Austin. I think his brother was using this one in Afghanistan, and Austin, it just happened to acquire it, and then I bought it from him. I was like, you know what, I want something that's battle worn, that's been out there. So, you know, he ended up selling it to me, and so I have it on this firearm here. This firearm comes with the Knights Armament RAS system. Pretty much the same system that I used overseas, which is your Picatinny quad rail, pretty much. It does come with the Knights Armament broom handle. Not for my taste. I feel like it's a little too long. So I went with the MOE vertical grip by Magpul. I like it better. I get a better purchase on the firearm with it. If I lift it up, I can do a nice C-clamp on it. All right. Now, while I have it up, I'm also going to explain what I have up here and what I have here while I have it up for you guys. This bipod, that's just a regular bipod, nothing fancy. All right, guys, just something to get the job done. I am running an off-sight Picatinny rail. I was running a sight mark up there, didn't like it, and I do have a Trijicon RMR that I had up there. I just didn't like the color, to be honest to you. I am very meticulous about my color schemes and everything. It's black, so what I might do is trade it in for an FDE oldie green one. But if I have it here, I can definitely, if I'm doing close quarter combat, this ACOG. This ACOG. I love the ACOG. I love the TA31s, but they do have this the eye box. Saying that right? The eye box, the sight relief on it can be kind of horrible. You guys sometimes extend that buttstock to get the nice sight on that. But you know, if I'm doing close quarter combat, I had an off-sight red dot. So if I'm clearing a room, almost knocked my cigars over. If I'm clearing a room, I can easily, boom, move over, come back to the Trijicon scope, and come back over to the red dot. From tip to butt, I took out the Colt bolt carrier group and I put in another firearm. It was a great bolt carrier group. Hey, it's made by Colt, and it was stamped really good. But I decided to go with the Lantec. Honestly, I kind of forgot what it is. That is a Lantec enhanced bolt carrier group, which is still a fully automatic bolt carrier group. But I decided to go with that nickel-plated boron. It's much smoother when cycling, and it's easy to clean, easy to wipe off when you get some dirt up there or carbon buildup. Easy to wipe off. Going down on the Elts on the firearm here, you can see my hand between here. I have the Magpul bad lever. That's easy access if I want to, my last round bolt open. If I want to just click that button and it rides that bolt right back in, right back up. So I don't have to turn the weapon around to hit the bolt catch. So I run a lot of those on my firearm as well. I did take out the mil-spec trigger. I'm not a fan of mil-spec triggers that come on the firearms. Now, when I was overseas, I was not part of SF group or any type of a special unit like that. I was part of a special unit. I was QRF, which was a task force that backed up the Marines, the different guys, and we also did our own side operations. But we didn't have the budget like these guys have. When you're dealing with those type of guys, they have hell. Some of the budgets are $1 million per guy. We didn't have the luxury, I would say, as those guys had. Them guys could run anything on AM4s. So we pretty much got what they gave us. All right, guys. So I didn't have the luxury of changing a lot of things around on my M4 that I can do now. All right. So on here, I did change out that mil-spec trigger. That trigger, it comes in heavy. I never did like it. It's about 6 to 7 pound trigger pull. So I went with the Geisley. I think this is the SSP. It's a single stage trigger. And if I'm not mistaken, last time I did the trigger pound gauge on it, I was getting about 2.5 pounds. So it's a great trigger, one stage trigger. I also put the KNS anti-lock pins on for the Geisley. So those pins aren't moving. I took off the A2 the A2 pistol grip, which I didn't like that either. Some people run it. I don't like running it on my firearms. And I put the K2 Magpul grip on it. This Magpul is a rubber grip. I like it. I get a good purchase on a firearm, and it does have a compartment here. I know some guys that run it. They put Skittles and gummies, condoms. And me, I actually run CLP or some type of lube, so it helps when that the bolt carrier, when she gets dry, I can get her wet. Okay. So I normally run those in pretty much all my M4s and AR-15s. All right, going back, still going from tip to butt. I'll tilt it just a little bit here. I can come and explain to you guys here. You still do have the forward assist on here. I've never used it, never had a problem using the getting the jam in here where I have to use the forward assist, thank God. But it does have the forward assist on here. You do have the MagTech rear that I've zeroed, goes up to your iron, your front iron post sight. So that's zeroed in, but like I said, I can't access it here because I'm running this ACOG. If something would happen to my ACOG in the field, I would just unscrew this, knock it off, and then I would flip up my MagTech. So I do have it zeroed in, 100 yards from the rear MagTech to the your standard A2 post sight, front post sight. What else do I run on this? I would say that Colt staked it pretty well. I haven't had a problem with this backing out, so they did good staking on it. I am running a B5. Now this is part of the SOP mod program, which we can get into that, and that's a whole video itself. But I am running this from the SOP mod program, the B5 buttstock. A lot of guys are using this, a lot of Navy SEAL guys, a lot of operators. I love it. It's got a nice cheek well on both sides. So if I came up here with the firearm, nice cheek well. And it helps me get that nice purchase on a firearm. I can come in, clear building, come back out. I love it. It's a good sight. It has storage compartments if you want to store things. It's got 2 storage compartments, and it also has a quick detach loop here for your sling. Internals, I already said I'm running your Geissele trigger, your SSP. I'm running your KNS anti-lock pins. I'm running the, like I said, the Lantec enhanced bolt carrier group. And I'm also running a Geissele Super 42. Now, I do use an H2 buffer. I use that on all of my M4s or AR-15s. I just feel like it cycles the round smoother. When I do get the Super 42, I use the spring. I use the wire spring, but I swap it out for a Noveske H2 buffer. And the reason I do that is, guys don't know, John Noveske, he's the co-founder of Noveske. He passed away a few years ago. He was in a car accident. That company has done great things for the gun world. You know, that's my way of just paying tribute to him, is that I run a Noveske H2 buffer in all of my AR-15s or all my M4s. This is a way of me paying tribute to him. So, you know, God rest his soul, but he's done a lot and gave a lot to the gun industry. And that's my way of just paying homage to him. That's pretty much it for this firearm. So this is the M4A1. I'm all about running and gunning it for yourself and trying out the firearm, all right? And I've had no problem with this firearm by Colt. I haven't shot the FN collectibles edition, but to me, it's a pretty good one too. I think one of my buddies got one, and he hasn't had a problem with his. I just happen to have the Colt. Like I said, this is a very, very, very accurate firearm, and I'll tell you this, it's put down a lot of baddies overseas. It does the job. It does the job. It is different than buying an AR-15. If you know, I know a lot of people can't afford something like this, and that's fine. Your MMP, what is your MMP Sport? To me, those are good firearms. It's not an M4, it's an AR-15. Good for recreational. Good for recreational. It'll get the job done. But if I would say if I had to go to combat or shit hits the fan tomorrow, this would definitely be my battle gun, and I set it up for it to be my battle gun. So I love it. It definitely bring back a lot of memories. Me being overseas with my buddies. Sometimes I'll sit back and watch a military movie, and I have it right next to me with my cigar, and I'm like, man, it's just very nostalgic for me. But good firearm. Also, that I did not mention, that I will mention, I'm just going to turn the gun around for a second. Okay. All right. When you get one of these, it does have the government markings on it. So if you look closely here, it does say U.S. property, U.S. government. It does have the government markings on it. I'm not going to go over none of the cage codes today. That's a video entirely for itself. But it does have the U.S. government markings, and it does have some of the cage code markings. I'm just not going to get into that. Now, they do have different variants of this with different cage codes, but that's if you're trying to resell and you want, the sell value of the firearm. I don't care about the sell value of the firearm. I'm lucky enough to get my hands on one. Very good firearm. I love it. I can't say that enough. Like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments how you got your M4A1 built. We'll start a Patreon channel, guys. 80% of that is going to go to Wounded Warrior and St. Jude's. So we'll split those proceeds. 40% to Wounded Warrior, 40% to St. Jude's. I think they need it. Those children there at St. Jude's, they're to me, they're little war machines. They're fighting a battle every day, and we're all fighting a battle every day, guys. If it's depression, mental health, anxiety, anything in your life, definitely get help. We'll be discussing that on this channel as well. We'll be discussing mental health, mental illness, and guys, there's help out there to get. All right. If you ever need help, there's always a suicide hotline. I know there's a vet hotline called Vet Crisis. That number is 1-800-273-8255, and all you gotta do is press 1, and you'll get to somebody that will lead you in the right direction, guys. So that's what this channel is always about. It's always good to talk about guns and shoot them up, bang bang, but we also need to get to some real issues besides firearms. I am Angel War Machine Company. Definitely subscribe, definitely like, definitely comment, and to the next one, I'm out, guys.
Whiskey Mike, you are cleared RTB.
Yeah, this is War Machine Company, tracking. We are RTB at this time.